it's Fabs and welcome to A Fab Kitchen. As you know, we are currently testing and reviewing Original Flava's Caribbean Cookbook. So today is episode 2 and we are trying out the pumpkin and sweet potato curry recipe. It's coming into spring at the moment, so there aren't any pumpkins in a shop, but Original Flava said it's okay to substitute it for butternut squash, so that's what we're going to do. As you know, in this series I am promoting Matcha Makes ugly claylets earrings, and they're just so beautiful. So go check her out on Instagram and check out her Etsy page as well. They're very affordable and nice and light, and honestly I love them so much. But for now, let's get cooking. The ingredients that we're working with today are chili powder, curry powder, coconut milk, callaloo, turmeric, paprika, spring onions, scotch bonnet, garlic, onion, ginger, butternut squash and sweet potatoes. We are going to start off by preparing the garlic, ginger, onion, sweet potato and butternut squash. It doesn't mention anything in the book about, or it doesn't mention in the book about peeling it, in fact, or dicing it, or chopping it, whatever. So I'm just going to use my initiative, and I found that in this book that is the case a lot. So I know in Jamaican cooking it is a dash of this, a dash of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but the instructions are quite, I don't know, simple, I guess. It's not necessarily the instructions, tell a lie, it is the ingredients. Like on some of them it talks about, oh, it's being chopped or diced and blah 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 blah, but then it comes to like ginger and it doesn't say peeled. So I'm like, let me just assume that it's peeled because you don't really want rough ginger skin in your food, do you? And then it comes onto the garlic and it's just like 3 cloves of garlic. I'm like, am I just supposed to dash them in? Are they just gonna be chucked in just like that? Or am I supposed to be chopping them up? Am I supposed to be peeling them? So I'm gonna peel them because I don't want to be chewing on this husk of garlic skin. Oh, my poor eyes. Oh. I honestly think the main aspiration for onions is to chop off a finger, because it's like your eyes, they really sting and they water and everything. Oh my gosh. And it's like they proper blurs your vision and you can't see anything, and oh, look at these tears. I can't even open my eyes right now, just bear with. Now let's chuck everything in the pan and watch the curry come together. Let's whack the pan up to high and add some oil in. Oops. And fry for 2 minutes. Scotch bonnet, spring onions. Those spring onions look stupid. You know what? They're coming out. Come on. Now we're going to leave that cooking until the butternut squash / pumpkin is nice and tender. It doesn't actually give an exact amount of time, so you're just going to keep going back and checking it. I'm not sure this is enough liquid, I guess, to cook it all. Like, some of them are a lot more tender than the others, and some of them are literally like pure solid still. I'm trying to find a solid one, but there are quite a few. Like, okay, they're starting to cook, tell a lie. Maybe like this one is like pure solid. It feels like a raw carrot. I feel like it would have been more beneficial to have covered it, and so it would have steamed. You wouldn't have lost as much of the liquid as you have now, and it just would have cooked a lot quicker. Okay, this is not cooking, so I'm going to add some water and then I'm going to cover it. Just a little bit of water. They're mostly tender now, so now we're going to put in some callaloo. It says you can either put some callaloo or some parsley in, and bearing in mind it's 200 grams, I have no idea where to find 200 grams of parsley. Like, who sells 200 grams of parsley? Am I supposed to like buy 20 packets of, you know, the little small parsley? So I went for callaloo. This is what it looks like. It's lovely. So we're just gonna put that in and simmer it for about 5 minutes. The ingredients list actually states a little bit of salt, literally, but the method of the recipe doesn't actually mention the salt anywhere in it. So I am assuming that I'm just supposed to taste test, and if it needs salt, to add salt. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's try it. This is an interesting flavour, but I think salt could help. Let's try it again with a little bit of salt. Give it a lick of the salt. Again, better, but still I think it needs a bit more salt. Third time's the charm, right? Fingers crossed. I don't think the salt is adding anything to this. I can't taste it. I'm not gonna add any more because I don't want to be increasing my sodium levels for no reason if I can't even taste it. Let's just dish up and see how this tastes. It doesn't really taste promising at the moment, but you never know. I'll add some rice in there and we'll see. Okay, here it is. It smells lovely. I'm not sure it's gonna taste good though. I'm gonna be honest, because I've tasted that sauce. I've tasted like some callaloo. I'm just not sure, but we'll try this. Let's do it. I'm gonna eat this with an open mind. That sweet potato is not cooked.
If you know me, you know my face displays exactly how I feel and is constantly betraying me. Later on in the ratings, I'm a lot more diplomatic with my choice of words. But let me just tell you, as you can see from my face, I just about stomached this dish. It was bland, and the flavours that were there did not merge well. All in all, it was dirty.
Okay. Let's go to ratings. You know what? I'm really disappointed with this dish. Just because it smelled so amazing when all those spices and the spring onion, all of that went in. It smelled phenomenal. And for it to end up like this, where it's just a mediocre dish, it's edible, but it's not an enjoyable dish. I'm just so disappointed. But I'm not sure whether it's to do with the fact that sweet potatoes nowadays, they don't taste like sweet potatoes, they taste more like carrot than sweet potatoes. It's not like when I was growing up, and I'm not even that old, I'm 23, and when I was growing up, I remember sweet potatoes were completely different, and now I don't know what they've done to them, but they do not taste as sweet and the texture is completely different. So nowadays I actually steer clear of sweet potatoes, but it could be that, which I think that is one of the main things as to why this dish hasn't come together very well. But I also think that the instructions could have been much clearer, because the sweet potato and the butternut squash, they came out and they were cooked so unevenly. It was ridiculous. I even bit into one. Half of it was hard and the other half was mushy, you know? So I think if they said, okay, whilst you're cooking this, once you've put the coconut milk in, cover it for 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, and then uncover it so you can let the sauce thicken, that would have made a huge difference, because steaming it and having that lid on top, it prevents all the heat escaping. It also prevents all that liquid escaping. And I think everything would have been cooked a lot more evenly. I think even if the instructions were a little bit clearer in terms of how to prepare all of your ingredients, that would have made a huge difference, because if the garlic was chopped up or the spring onion was chopped up, if that's what they wanted, they should have said that. And if they were, it would have changed the flavour of the dish drastically. It would have been crazily much more powerful and much more flavoursome. So I'm just so confused as to why they didn't do that, why they didn't state that. And it's just, this dish is a disappointment. It's bland, it's unevenly cooked, and I'm so disappointed. And I'm sorry, original flavour, but you're getting a 2-star for taste. Now, in terms of ease of sauce, everything was pretty easy to sauce, because you've put the substitution of the pumpkin with the butternut squash, which is quite easy to find in the UK. But 200 grams of parsley, where are you supposed to find that, first of all? And callaloo is quite difficult to find nowadays. Once again, the same with like the ackee and the saltfish and the plantain. You used to find it in the shops, in the everyday supermarket, but nowadays you can't, and they've really stripped back the Afro-Caribbean section. So I'm going to give this a 4.5 stars, just because the only thing we couldn't really find in the supermarket was callaloo. And then difficulty, it was easy to make, but this dish, it really resembled that shredded beef dish. And if you haven't seen that yet, I will link it up above. But it's comparing how easy it is to make with the taste, and it does take 30 minutes, and I think realistically it will probably take around 40 to 45 minutes to make it by yourself. But just the taste at the end, I'm just, and the instructions weren't clear enough, as I said before. So for difficulty, I am going to give it a 3.5 star. I can't believe it. This is the lowest rating on this entire channel, and I can't believe it. I'm shocked. Original flavour, what are you doing, mate? Maybe I've done something wrong, but I don't know. Overall, this dish is getting a 3.3 stars, and my goodness, I'm shocked. I am gobsmacked. I had high hopes for this. You know what? Hopefully it's just like Chinese on Chop, the series that we did before, where 75% of the recipes were banging, and just fingers crossed that the last one is phenomenal. Otherwise, I'm not sure I can recommend this book. We'll see.
Time for price and advice. This dish serves around 5 people comfortably, I would say, and for the entire dish it only costs £3.56, so that is 71p per serving, which isn't too bad, and I think that is the cheapest recipe we've made on this channel so far. In terms of advice, I would say buy the organic sweet potato, because sweet potatoes nowadays don't necessarily taste like they used to, and they taste a bit more like carrot than anything else. The next day, I did not want to eat this. I didn't want to have to go through this traumatic experience again, so I had to spice it up to make it a little bit more enticing. And the seasoning that I used was Maggi cube, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of cumin. Now, with the cumin, if you are going to make this recipe, add the cumin at the same time as you add the curry powder. That way it will release as much flavour as possible. And in terms of the spring onions and the garlic, yes, the recipe doesn't state to chop them up, but Lord of mercy, just chop them up. It will make the dish seem a lot more edible, let me just tell you that. To ensure that the butternut squash or pumpkin and sweet potato are cooked evenly, I would say As soon as that coconut milk goes in, add a tiny bit of water and cover the pan. Honestly, that will make such a difference. And as soon as the butternut squash and the sweet potato are just about cooked, uncover it, add the callaloo in and keep it uncovered, and that way the sauce will thicken.
That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Comment below with anything you might have changed in this recipe to make it banging, because it just was not there today. If you liked my earrings, don't forget to check out Matcha Makes Ugly Clay Bits Instagram and check out her Etsy store as well, because I love them. But anyway, for now, peace! Okay, your memory is fading. Okay. We are going to start off by preparing the... I forgot every single ingredient this time. Honestly, this whole recipe is full of assumptions with me. I don't think the guidelines are very clear. Did Boris make this book?